If you're over 60 and feeling like your spark is slipping away, don't blame age. Don't blame your testosterone either. The truth might be something no one ever told you about. I remember sitting in my kitchen one morning, frustrated. I had energy dips. My circulation felt off, and intimacy fading fast. I chalked it up to getting older, but deep down, something didn't sit right. How could everything I once took for granted be disappearing so quickly? That's when I stumbled across something I'd never even heard of in all my years of trying to stay healthy: vitamin K2. It wasn't in any of my annual blood panels. My doctor had never mentioned it, but the more I read, the more it hit me maybe this wasn't aging. Maybe I was just missing something critical. And it turns out, I wasn't alone. Thousands of men across the country were facing the same issue: declining blood flow, poor stamina, fading intimacy. And no one told us the real reason. Vitamin K2 is a game changer. It doesn't just support your bones, it keeps calcium out of your arteries, where it doesn't belong. And that changes everything. What if the difference between feeling like you're aging and feeling alive again was just one overlooked nutrient? Let me take you into the story that changed everything for me and could change it for you, too. I'll never forget the day I started connecting the dots. I was sitting across from a guy named Brian, 65 years old, former Marine, tough as nails, but the look in his eyes, defeated. He told me, "I've done everything right. I eat clean, I stay active, but something's just off. My energy's down, I can't stay warm. And let's just say the bedroom isn't what it used to be." So we dug deeper, and what we found shocked us both. His calcium levels were perfectly normal, but his vitamin K2 was almost non-existent. And that mattered more than either of us expected. See, K2's not just some trendy supplement. It plays one of the most underrated roles in your entire body. It keeps calcium from building up in your arteries. Without it, that calcium hardens your blood vessels. It's called vascular calcification. Think of it like trying to pump water through clogged plumbing. It doesn't matter how strong the pump is if the pipes are stiff. Nothing flows right. And when that flow is meant to reach your heart, your brain, or anywhere else important, it's a big deal. Within weeks of correcting Brian's K2 levels, he felt warmer, more alert, more engaged, and yes, more alive in ways he thought were gone for good. So if you've been feeling sluggish, colder, or disconnected, this might not be about age at all. It could be your body silently asking for something it's missing. And once you give it what it needs, the results can be fast and powerful. Let's talk science for a second, because this is where it really clicked for me. Most guys think intimacy is just about desire or mindset, but physiologically, it's about blood flow, plain and simple. Without strong, steady circulation, an erection simply can't happen. That's biology. And the key players in that process: flexible arteries and a molecule called nitric oxide. Here's the problem if your arteries are stiff from calcium buildup. No amount of nitric oxide can help. Blood can't flow through a rigid vessel. It's like trying to blow air through a garden hose filled with cement. That's what happens when you're deficient in vitamin K2. But once you restore K2 levels, the shift is powerful. K2 activates a protein in your body called matrix GLA, and its job is to sweep out that excess calcium from your arteries like a detox crew, clearing the pipes. The arteries regain their flexibility, and suddenly, blood can move freely again, everywhere it needs to go. And that's where nitric oxide comes in. It's the signal that tells your blood vessels, hey, open up. But that only works if those vessels are healthy and responsive in the first place. K2 makes that possible. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s feel completely defeated, then come back to life. Not because of a magic pill, but because their arteries started working the way they were supposed to. And once your blood flows again, so does everything else: your energy, your mood, your confidence. It's not a miracle. It's physiology. You just have to know what your body needs. Let me tell you about someone who brought all of this home for me, Rick. A 68-year-old retired firefighter from Boise, Idaho. When Rick first came to see me, he was the kind of guy you'd expect to have it all together. Strong frame, clear eyes, but the way he spoke, quiet, worn down. He said, "Doc, I'm not the man I used to be. Not just physically, emotionally too. I feel disconnected, numb, like I'm just watching life go by." He'd tried the usual stuff. The blue pill: I've got warmth in my hands again. My head's clearer. And things are working better, too. It wasn't magic. It was science. And most importantly, it was hope. The kind of hope that says, maybe you're not past your prime. Maybe you're just missing a piece of the puzzle. Rick's story isn't rare. It's just untold. And if you've been feeling that quiet frustration like he did, this might be your turning point, too. Now, here's the part that frustrates me most, and it might shock you, too. For so many men, even after they start taking the right supplements, eating better, and making changes, progress still feels slow. And it's not because the body isn't trying. It's because something's working against it from the inside. I'm talking about medications. Don't get me wrong, modern medicine saves lives. But some of the most commonly prescribed drugs can quietly interfere with your ability to feel better. Let's start with statins. Those cholesterol-lowering pills millions of older men are on. While they reduce cholesterol, they can also block the very biochemical pathways that vitamin K2 depends on, leaving calcium to build up in your arteries unchecked. Then there's blood pressure meds, acid blockers, even antidepressants. All of them, in one way or another, can dull your body's natural systems, messing with circulation, hormone balance, and nutrient absorption. And the kicker: even something as seemingly harmless as a calcium supplement, if taken without K2, can send that calcium straight to your arteries instead of your bones. That's the opposite of what you want. I've sat with men who are on 5, 6, even 7 prescriptions. Good intentions, bad combinations. Once we identified the blockers and adjusted their routines, everything shifted. Blood flow improved. Energy returned. Their faces literally lit up. I'm not telling you to ditch your meds, but I'm telling you to look at the bigger picture. Sometimes the issue isn't your age or your body, it's the environment you've unknowingly placed it in. One of the first things guys ask me after hearing about vitamin K2 is, can I just get it from food? It's a fair question. We've all been told that if we eat healthy lean proteins, veggies, the occasional multivitamin, we'll be fine. But when it comes to K2, that advice falls short. Unlike vitamin C or D, where you can eat an orange or spend 15 minutes in the sun, K2 is extremely rare in the standard American diet. Its richest source, a sticky, fermented Japanese soybean dish called natto. And let me be honest, natto is an acquired taste. I couldn't even finish a spoonful. Sure, K2 exists in small amounts in grass-fed organ meats like goose liver and in aged cheeses like Gouda or Edam. But you'd need to eat those every single day and in large portions to get the optimal dose. Most men don't even eat them once a month. That's why, for most guys over 60, a high-quality K2 supplement becomes a must, not a luxury. Specifically, the MK7 form of K2 is the most bioavailable. It stays in your system longer and works more effectively. When paired with vitamin D3, which helps calcium move into bones, and magnesium for added support, it becomes a simple but powerful trio for cardiovascular and intimate health. You don't need a cabinet full of pills, just smart, targeted support that fills in what modern diets miss. So if you've been eating clean but still feel off, don't assume your diet has you covered. K2 might be the missing piece your plate just can't give you. When I talk to men in their 60s and beyond, something becomes clear very quickly. It's not just about blood flow or energy or even intimacy anymore. What they're truly searching for quietly, often without realizing, it is a feeling they've been missing for years. It's that feeling of being alive, strong, and present, the same feeling they had when they were in their 30s or 40s. It's not just about functioning, it's about thriving. And when you've been through life leading teams, raising kids, building homes, losing that connection can feel like you're losing yourself. I've heard it in the voices of men who were once sharp, dynamic, and full of energy. Now, they feel like their bodies are betraying them, like something inside has gone quiet. They still have the knowledge, the wisdom, but they feel disconnected from the vitality they once had. That's why restoring circulation isn't just about getting your blood flowing again. It's about reclaiming your confidence and your sense of self. It's about reconnecting with that inner fire. When blood flow slows down, when your body doesn't respond the way it used to, it starts to affect everything: how you feel about yourself, your relationships, your joy. But here's the good news: you can reclaim it. You can feel strong and vibrant again. Not because you turn back the clock, but because you finally give your body what it's been asking for all along: the right nutrients, the right support, the right care. This process isn't about fixing yourself. It's about rebuilding. Rebuilding your energy, rebuilding your confidence, rebuilding your life. Now that we've gone over the science and the real-life transformations, let's focus on how you can do this. How you can start feeling more alive, connected, and confident. It's about making simple, consistent changes that align with your body's natural needs. The most effective way to get your circulation back on track, improve intimacy, and feel younger again isn't through extreme treatments or fad diets. It's about a daily routine that supports your body in a way it's meant to be supported naturally and sustainably. Here's the simple approach I recommend to my patients. The one I've seen work time and time again. Start with vitamin K2. This is the cornerstone of your journey. Get on a high-quality MK7 supplement, paired with vitamin D3 to improve calcium absorption. It's essential to give your arteries the flexibility they need to allow healthy blood flow. Add magnesium. Magnesium is crucial for your cardiovascular health. It supports muscle function, helps maintain a normal heart rhythm, and is vital for healthy blood pressure. Magnesium and K2 work hand in hand to ensure that calcium is deposited where it should be in your bones, not in your arteries. Stay active. Exercise. Exercise is crucial. Whether it's walking, swimming, or light strength training, keep your body moving. It doesn't have to be intense, just enough to keep your blood circulating and your muscles active. Mind your diet. While K2 supplementation is essential, also try to incorporate natural sources of it into your diet. Grass-fed meats, hard cheeses like Gouda, and even fermented foods can help. And don't forget about healthy fats. They're important for hormone production and overall vitality. Rest and recover. Never underestimate the power of quality sleep. Sleep is when your body heals and restores itself. Without it, your circulation, energy, and mental clarity can take a hit. Prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours each night. Starting tomorrow, incorporate these habits into your life. Take it one day at a time and watch as your body begins to respond, because your body knows what to do when you give it what it's missing. And once you do, you'll see the change, not just in your health, but in your overall sense of well-being. You might be wondering, can it really be that simple? Can just a few tweaks to your routine truly bring back your vitality and confidence? The answer is yes. I've seen it happen time and time again with men just like you. They were skeptical at first, unsure whether a simple vitamin could truly reverse years of decline. But once they started incorporating K2 and making the changes we talked about, the results were undeniable. But here's the thing. This isn't just about feeling good physically. The change I'm talking about, it's about a reconnection with yourself. When you restore your circulation and start feeling better in your body, you wake up. You start to feel more engaged with life, more confident, more connected with the people around you. Your relationships improve, your mental clarity sharpens, and your sense of purpose returns. This journey isn't about going back in time to when you were in your 20s or 30s. It's about reclaiming what was always within you, just waiting to be reignited. When you give your body the nutrients it needs to thrive, you'll be surprised at how quickly everything starts to change. I've had men tell me, I thought those days were behind me. But once they saw how their body responded to K2, they realized it was never too late. They had the power to change, to improve, to feel alive again. And you do too. The best part, you don't need to make drastic changes. It's about small, intentional steps that fit into your life. It's about consistency each day as you take control of your health, your vitality, and your well-being. You'll feel the difference. Now that you've got the basics down, let's talk about the real transformation, the one that goes beyond the physical. It's the shift in mindset, the way you begin to view your health, your vitality, and your potential. When you start to feel your body respond to these changes, something deep inside shifts. It's not just about your physical health anymore. It's about reclaiming your identity. You've lived decades full of experiences, challenges, triumphs, and setbacks. But when your circulation improves, when you start to feel like yourself again, it changes how you see yourself. It's about confidence, not just in your body, but in your life. You stop doubting yourself. You stop holding back. Instead, you feel ready to engage with the world again, fully and confidently. Imagine waking up every day with more energy, clarity, and strength than you've had in years. Imagine looking at your partner and feeling that spark again, or taking on the day with a renewed sense of purpose. When you take care of your body, everything else falls into place. And you know what? The best part is that it's sustainable. The steps you're taking now aren't quick fixes. They're habits that support long-term health and vitality. You're setting yourself up for the next chapter of your life, a chapter where you don't just get by, but you thrive. You've already made the choice to start. And with the right tools and mindset, the journey will only get better. There's no limit to how strong, confident, and engaged you can feel. This is just the beginning. As we wrap up, I want you to take a moment to reflect on what you've learned today. The changes we've discussed aren't just about feeling better for a day or two. They're about reclaiming your vitality, your confidence, and your intimacy for the long haul. No matter your age, it's never too late to take control of your health and give your body the support it needs to thrive. The journey we've talked about today is about much more than just blood flow or circulation. It's about reconnecting with the man you've always been: strong, vibrant, and full of life. When you feed your body the right nutrients, like vitamin K2, and make mindful choices each day, you'll start to see the world around you shift. You'll feel more connected to your partner, your friends, and even to yourself. I know the path to better health can feel daunting at times, but trust me, it's worth it. And the best part, you're not alone in this. Many men have walked this same road, rediscovering their vitality and confidence, and so can you. Start with small steps, whether it's adding that K2 supplement, making time for movement, or simply prioritizing your health, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. Before you go, I want to remind you to subscribe and stay tuned for the next videos where we dive even deeper into ways to optimize your health and happiness as you age. I'll be here to walk alongside you every step of the way, providing science-backed tips that will help you live your best life. So remember, you deserve to feel strong, connected, and confident, no matter what stage of life you're in. And with the right tools, the best is yet to come.